I don't know what to make of our team. I really don't, honestly. Oh God, like watching Burnley every week, whether it's live or on Match of the Day, is a it's an absolute bloody nightmare some days. What's going on, everybody? It's JB here. Well, I'm not going to start talking about the game against Leeds today because there's nothing to be said other than we've lost and we've contributed to our own downfall. Again, simple basics have let us down again, but it's not this game that's costing us at the moment. It's a combination of everything. I mean, you look at the stats. I think we played something like 17 games and we've won one in 17. Now, at any other football club, that is not good enough. Now, the question I've got to ask tonight is: Sean Dyche the right man to take us forward? I believe he isn't, and I say this with a heavy heart because I want to say at the outset, he has done a remarkable job. In 10 years at the club, he's done a remarkable job. He's done an excellent job on a very limited budget. He's kept us in the Premier League for 6 years now. And you can't knock the guy's achievements. He got us into Europe for 1 year, for heaven's sake. 1 year, for heaven's sake. And we can't take those achievements away. You know, a pub named after him. So, I've got no problems with the lad. Right? I've no problems with Sean. He's done a great job. And whatever happens, he should be welcomed back with open arms to Burnley. No problem, right? But my problem is this. But the stats don't lie. It's simple. One win in 16 isn't good enough. And then you look over the calendar year, 8 wins all calendar year. Most of them on the travels. Um, Beggars belief. The worst home record out of the 92 professional league clubs. The list is endless. And then there's questions being asked. Now, I'm going to do a half season review because I think I have to say this. He starts getting the best out of the players he's got. Are certain players not performing? Like, for example, James Tarkowski's attitude today, Ben Mee's attitude today. They stunk. I think Ben Mee is a disgrace. If he's a captain, then I'm Jeffrey Boycott because that is just awful. Both back four were giving the ball away. Cork gave the ball away several times today. You know, the whole thing. One win all season against Brentford, and we were good value for that. But we've tossed away points what we should have had. Now, of course, there's going to come a point in the video where you're going to start blaming certain refereeing decisions. It's not just about the refereeing decisions. Let me just put that straight. Okay? I'm not even going to go on about refereeing decisions. The game against Norwich, we should have had 3 penalties. Yeah. Okay. Right, capiche. The fact is, we didn't win the game. And we had enough chances of our own accord. Now, the problem is, I think the biggest problem this season with Dyche is he's had money to spend, but he's spent it in the wrong areas. He's spent it on okay, he needed a centre back. Obviously, we're all anticipating Tarky to go in the last summer, which is fair enough, but I don't understand why he's brought Connor Roberts in. If he hasn't even used him, I think he's played twice, if that. So he isn't giving people like Connor Roberts a chance. So why is he wasting money on Connor Roberts? The best signing he's made all summer was Maxwell. Maxwell Cornet has been a revelation. 6 goals already this season. If it wasn't for now, we're going to lose it to the AFCON, which I think is a stupid. Which I think to have a tournament at that time of year when you've got a space 3 in the summer with no World Cup until November is a ridiculous thing because it's going to interfere with our team. It's going to interfere with several other teams. It's going to give other teams that haven't got the African players in an advantage. We should have taken Watford's stance and stopped Cornet from going because we need him because it's a big game. But Sean Dyche, being the silly idiot he is, says, "Oh well, you go play for your country. That's fine. We don't need you." But, if he gets injured or he gets COVID, we're knackered. I tell you what, now I'm getting towards the end of my tether now. Right, Sean, you've done a great job for us. Don't get me wrong, you've done brilliant, but the stats don't lie. One winning 17 isn't good enough. The attitude of the players aren't good enough. The tactics, you're too stubborn. I've been saying this all along. Fair enough, the last 2 or 3 years you've had a lack of investment from the previous chairman. He's partly to blame, Mike Garlick. I've said my piece on Mike Garlick 2 weeks ago, right? I'm not going to go down old ground, okay, about Mike Garlick, right? He's partly to blame for what's gone on. But at the end of the day, this season, and I'm basing it on this season alone, Sean, you've had money to spend, but you've squandered it in the wrong areas. The midfield badly needs surgery. But you insist on hooping the ball high into the stratosphere, Brian Jensen style. You expect Chris Wood to come on the end of everything. It isn't good enough. You insist on playing 4-4-2. Why don't you mix it up a little bit? Try and accommodate a couple of player players like McNeil or Cornet or somebody like that. We're just being stupid now. We're making basic mistakes at key moments. We made key mistakes today against Leeds. We didn't switch on for a short corner, which Dallas scored from. Tarky and me kept giving it away. They're not good enough. They're not playing well enough. The attitude of those two players especially stuck. Jack Cork, another one. We're missing people like Brownhill. We're missing people like Maxwell Cornet. We're missing Nick Pope. Hennessy at fault maybe. I don't think Hennessy could do much about the 3 goals that went in. I thought he was a bit unlucky on the third one. I thought Daniel James's goal was a fluke. And it, bit of a rag arse, but I'm picking at straws there. But the fundamental thing is we lost the game. Our attitude in certainly in the last few weeks. Okay, we haven't had a game. Yeah, we've got 4 games extra to play than some other teams at the wrong end of the table. Yes, we've still got a better goal difference, and we're fortunate in a way that Watford aren't winning because it keeps us in touch with them at the bottom. But I'll tell you this now. This has got to stop. Because at the end of the day, teams are going to find us out, right? Teams have found us out now. I've been saying this for the last 18 months, right? Since the start of last season. Teams have slowly away, ground us down, found us out, and we're not getting the 1-0s that we used to get or showing the strong jaw that Sean Dyche puts it and everything else. Because teams have wised up to us, they've done their homework well on us. Everything they've done it to the letter, right? No arguments, right? Now, what are we doing in terms of preparation and homework? And this is where I've got to give the manager a lot of blame here. Now, a lot of the teams in the Premier League take short corners. We do not wise up to it. Like an example today, a couple of examples in the Palace game where they just switched off and Palace could have had a couple of goals. They expect. You've got to question the staff. You've got to question Ian Well. You've got to question Steve Stone as well. You've got to question some of these people behind the scenes at the moment. I mean, it's not just Sean, but them 3 at the moment are not doing the right thing. Substitutions at the wrong time. The wrong players coming on during games. The list is endless. And, Sean this season had no excuses. He had money to spend. Alan Page has backed him. Okay, £30 million, that's good for a club like Burnley. Now, he should have boxed a bit more clever. I'm not if he honestly thinks that he'd rather go with somebody like, for example, Bill Bardsley or Matt Lowton above Connor Roberts. Why buy Connor Roberts? Wouldn't you be better off buying a midfield player or a striker to complement people like Maxwell Cornet and people like that? Chris Wood. How he'd love to play alongside a much more pacey striker. We were in for. I thought we were going to get several good players. Will Hughes was going cheap, and to be fair, Palace snapped him up for not very much money, and he's reaping the benefits at Selhurst. We missed out on him. We've missed out in the last couple of years on people like Ollie Watkins and Neil Mopai and people like that. If we'd have just shown a bit more oomph and a bit more enthusiasm to try and get these talented players in that we could have afforded, even in Garlick's day, we could have afforded it, right? Don't give me all that talk that Garlick was, Garlick was penny pinching every bit of money. He wanted to push himself through. He never gave a toss about Burnley Football Club. Let's be 100% honest about that. But for some reason, Dyche wanted to buy defensive-minded players, and I don't understand why. At the end of the day, yeah, first 2 or 3 years, you do that. That's what you do. It's just when you get into the Premier League, first 2 or 3 seasons, yeah, establish yourself, right? And we did that. No problem, right? No issue whatsoever. But when there comes a time, though, after 3 or 4 years of just the same old, that teams will find you out. And this is what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years. Teams have found us out. And I'm not talking the big teams. I'm not talking your Liverpools, your Chelseas, and your Manchester Uniteds and Manchester Cities of this world. I'm talking people like Brighton, Norwich, Newcastle, Leeds. You know what I mean? And Sean Dyche is so stubborn and so up his own arse that he thinks his way is the best way. It isn't the best way. He needs to think you cannot keep expecting to win games of football or try to win games of football by playing the same humping up the field or playing 4-4-2 every week because teams will find you out. You know, you look at, he's not daft, Sean Dyche. He knows that there's sports scientists and there's analysts and people like that at other clubs as well as his own. And believe me, Leeds had a field day today and they were missing two of their best players. Namely Phillips and Bamford. I tell you what, if Bamford and Phillips had been playing today, they'd have had a field day. They'd have had about 7. It's just, it's not rocket science, is it? If Sean, I think it's time now that Sean went, and I say this with a heavy heart because he's achieved so much with the club. But there's going to come a time where all things have to come to an end, and I think Sean's become a bit stale. It's becoming a bit like Wenger. Wenger, when he came into Arsenal, he was a revolutionary, transformed players' lifestyles from booze now. They were eating the right foods and stuff, and they were winning trophies left, right, and centre. Then the last 10 years of his tenure, it was just stale. They didn't win anything, apart from an FA Cup or 3. But the point of the matter is, I think it's come to a stage now where we have to radically look at we need to change the manager and we need to get someone in. I would personally now a few people will shoot me down for this, but I don't care, right? If I was Alan Pace right now, I would be absolutely banging on Tony Bloom's office door at Brighton and asking how much compensation can we get for Graham Potter right now? To get Graham Potter in right now, because I tell you what, Graham Potter is an exceptionally good manager at the moment. The things he's doing right now at Brighton are brilliant. They're playing some great football. I've seen him now on Match of the Day play Everton, and they are absolutely unbelievable. I commentated on them against Brentford. Terrific. Even when they didn't have the ball, they were very well organised, and they countered attacked, and they played football on the deck. Now, I'd like to see that at Burnley. I think there are the players there. And I don't think a few of them are playing for the manager even. I don't think Ben Mee's playing for the manager. I don't think James Tarkowski. I think James Tarkowski personally is playing for a move. Or he doesn't want to be there. He's refused to sign a contract. Something's gone on behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but something's gone on because Tarkowski's attitude today stunk. In fact, he stunk the place out on a few occasions this season. He's made basic stupid errors. Same with Ben Mee, same with Matt Lowton. When Lowton and McNeil got themselves into a right old mess at Old Trafford the other day. So I don't know. I just don't know what I want to see anymore. Listen, Sean, you've done a great job, but I'm sorry, you've got to go. You're out because it's simple. Because you've not won enough games. If it had been at any other club, you'd have been out on your ear. It's just not good enough. The books, we can blame other incidentals, refereeing decisions, injuries, COVID, whatever. It's no excuse now. Those are just excuses. The book, at the end of the day, Sean, the book stops with you, my friend. You've had the backing of Pace this last summer. You haven't done enough with the money you were given. I would have liked you to have been more attack-minded in your signings. You didn't do enough for me. I thought Nathan Collins will turn out to be a very good replacement for Tarkowski. That I've no doubts about. Um, apart from them two, and apart from him and Maxwell, you not again. You've just blown it. Why have you signed Aaron Lennon? I mean, yeah, he had a good game the other night, but he's 34 years old. Why are you signing 34-year-olds? The average age of the squad, that's another issue. I have been saying this for 3, 4, 5 years. The average age of the squad is too old. It is too old. It needs to go. You know, Leeds paid the price for getting rid of Brian Clough back in 1974, didn't they? Because he knew when he took over that club, it wasn't a personal thing. He knew that the likes of Billy Bremner, Johnny Giles, and people, Norman Hunter, were getting on to 34, 35, and they didn't have much left in them. So even though Don Revie before that had a successful side at Leeds, Brian Clough could see that, and the Leeds players didn't like it, did they? And they booted him out. And look what happened to Leeds. It took them. They got relegated a few years later, and it took them 10 years to get back under Howard Wilkinson. Now this is it, and I've got a funny feeling that the Revie syndrome is going to Revie Clough syndrome is going to hit here at Burnley because let's face it, there's been no attempt made by Dyche in the last sort of 3, maybe 4 years. Now, we don't know what's going on. Was it garlic penny pinching? Was Dyche reluctant to spend money, even when backed? Was he just putting his banker in too many experienced heads? The average age is too high. We're Dad's army, basically. We're fighting against teams that are much fitter than us, much more this, much more that, younger squads. You know, the academy hasn't been great. They talk about the Barnfield being great, centre of excellence, at the academy there at Barnfield being great. But I've seen, apart from McNeil, I've seen nobody come through it. They're all being loaned out to bloody Morecambe. With all due respect, I'm telling you, we're in a right mess right now. And if Dyche is to stay, right, he needs to have a good transfer window. He needs to spend money. I heard him later on saying in an interview saying, well, you've got to have a good transfer window. Oh, he talks about prices and all that sort of thing. No, what a lot of rubbish, right? Dyche, have a go at spending a few quid. Get some quality in. If you can get quality in, then I'll back you. But if you can't be bothered or you don't want to, you want to keep with the same old rubbish you've got right now, we're going down. You've signed a death warrant to the Championship, quite honestly, and that to me, that's untenable. So you need, we've got one or two options, Dyche. If you really do care about us and you want to keep us in the Premier League again, you have backing now, so you've got no excuses. Go out and get some younger midfielders, a pacey attacker, and that could make all the difference, right? Sell Tarkowski for 40 million. If he wants his move, he can piss off as far as I'm concerned. He can piss off to Leicester, Newcastle, wherever he wants to go, right? It's get 40 million pounds, reinvest in the screen team, get the average age down. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and we might have you for another 3 years. If you don't, then I think you should be on your. I think you should get on your back. It's as simple as that. Simples. Right, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button. We're nearly at 900 subscribers. Thank you very much for your support over the years. Next you'll hear from me is the TC Ob on Thursday. Yes, Thursday. We're doing the EFL semi-final between Arsenal and Liverpool. So I'll see you then. Have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of your week. And don't forget, Trevor's Euro 96 final is now available on his channel as well. So don't forget to tune in for that. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Not a good video. I know it's not a good video to start New Year off, but it's a video I needed to make. He's Dyche the right man for the job. 1 winning 17 proves that statistically proves he isn't, is he? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's my opinion. If you've got an opinion, put it in the comments below, but please be respectful. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye.